What up? We're about to just take a quick shot here before we start recording, filming. Alex has 2 great little vodka skull shots for us of vodka. So we are going to take those and we're going to have double chins while doing it, and that's just fine.
Double chins. Skull
I've got Newman O's as my chaser.
Shout out Newman's Own.
Newman O's. Maybe we'll get a sponsor. Newman's Own.
Newman's Own.
I thought it was Newman O's. It is Newman Own.
It's not a cereal.
Look at Newman. He looks fucked up.
That's Paul Newman.
Yeah.
He's hot.
Paul Newman? Who's that?
That actor.
Okay.
You don't know who Paul Newman is?
Alright. I think we have to say that's so euphoric.
Yes.
That is so...
That's so euphoric. Almost as good as blood.
Oh my god. Ugh. Can you imagine me in Euphoria? I'm sure it's water, but like whenever they're drinking, I'm gonna cry off all my eye rhinestones. Okay, well, we'll be back, and when we're back, we're starting the show. Hello, Euphorians!
Hello.
This is our first ever, what do you call it? We're like a production set. We've got our table, we've got our gray tabby, we've got gold goblets that we're drinking vodka out of.
We have Halloween costumes.
Yes, we do. This is a very special episode, as we all know, because it's all based on Halloween. So we had to film as well as record.
Because we love Halloween.
We fucking love Halloween. So, first of all, I have to just say something because I'm already so fucking annoyed by it. And my headphones, my jacket's literally like, I could be a DJ. Like, you literally will probably hear my jacket so much during this. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not, because I love the way it looks. It's so retro.
What was your costume again, Paige?
Yeah. Fuck off. My costume is Euphoric 80s bitch. I have full Euphoria makeup. You can't tell because this is how janky we are. We're in quarantine. So we can't, like, do much to make this, enhance this, if you will. We literally have my laptop sitting on a cutting board on our stove of our studio apartment right now. So if you're wondering the high quality of this film,
Resources
that's what it looks
are
like.
minimal right now.
We'll give a lot of behind the scenes on the Instagram, but like, let me tell you, we're definitely not using like a really high quality YouTuber camera, but who gives a fuck? It's in quarantine. Like, no one's delivering. We don't have money to order a camera. Like, half the people don't have jobs, so it is what it is.
Myself included.
You included. Well, your job is podcasting.
True.
And giving you our Euphorians all the news that they
True.
need. So you do have a job, a very important one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so we're just here to drink vodka. We're still going to do our normal episode. It might be a little more spicy because we're like in front of the camera.
Spicy.
Cheers. That's so euphoric.
Cheers. That's so euphoric.
But yeah, whenever I'm in front of a camera, I feel like I definitely enhance like everything about me. Like, I'm more loud, I'm more rambunctious. So like, this is like a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I was like born to be a YouTuber, but I just like never have. So this is like my first
Here you
big
go.
YouTube debut.
Now you are.
Just kidding. I sound so annoying. I actually really hate... No, I don't hate YouTubers. I hate a lot, but I don't... No.
Many of them.
Many of them. Oh my god, I'm making so much noise with this jacket. It's gonna be problematic.
It's fine.
It's okay. But anyways, another little intro here. If you see a gray tabby moving around, that's this cat right here. Meatball.
Big baby Meatball.
Meatball's dressed like a quarantine drug dealer. He's being really good. He's sleeping. But if he gets up and walks around, like, don't worry about it. We're going to keep going business as usual.
Follow him on Instagram at BigBabyMeatball69.
Yeah, we'll plug him. Big Baby Meatball 69.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good Instagram handle.
It is a really good Instagram handle.
It's really euphoric.
We all have pretty good Instagram handles in this family.
We really do, but we don't need to tell them yours yet.
No.
They're not ready for it.
Mine is, under wraps.
So, to start, I mean, we have a lot to update you all on. So much has happened. It's been a really euphoric week. Okay, a lot has happened! Okay, our fans all know, because they saw on our Instagram, our Euphorian fans, they all saw that we did live with Angus Cloud.
We did.
We did. AKA Fezco, for those of you that are new to the show. You should know that. You should do, I'm just going to drink more.
Cool. So on 420, while I was furiously editing our podcast to get it out in time, Angus Cloud was having a fantastic little 420 party where he was getting different people on live.
He's a great live Instagrammer because he's so authentic.
He was smoking weed. He was talking to randos. This one girl asked him if he wanted to see her shake her shitter.
Oh my god, I
him and all his friends
that.
were like crying, laughing about that.
Wait, I am so glad you brought that up because I totally forgot about that. Who the fuck refers to their ass as a shitter when they're trying to be sexy?
She was trolling, obviously, but it was still funny. And it got
you couldn't see her face. It was just like the ceiling of her bedroom, and she was like, "Hey, shake your shitter."
She said she was like, "You want to see me shake my shitter?" And then they were all cracking up.
So good.
Then a couple days later, he went live again.
And I rushed to the scene. I was like on there watching, kept requesting. We were the first ones, too, by the way, for him to video. So he pulls us up. I'm like,
if any of you were
watching,
out. You might have seen us.
Yeah, if anyone was watching. I hope you all were tuned in. You should be. If you're a true Euphorian, you were probably tuned in. But what happened was, I got on super fast. Alex was editing, so I had to like grab him. I was like, Alex, hurry up! Like, Angus. So we like got the phone. We were all excited, and we couldn't hear shit. This is a huge downfall of Insta Live.
Connection was whack. Insta Live is not so great.
No, it's
every time I've
awful.
watched an Insta Live or you've tried to participate in one, it's always kind of a shit show
really
because
bad.
what kind of internet speed do you need to do this? Do you need like corporate tech company level
I think
internet speeds to be able to do it?
They're all really bad. Like
the celebs can't do it and we can't do it. So I
but
don't
it's
think
not their fault. It's just Instagram sucking and Wi-Fi.
I don't think the consumer is capable of having a good Insta Live.
It's always delayed. They're always reading comments from like hours ago, and you're like, oh my god, I've asked like 5 questions and no one's read anything. Yeah, it's no good.
But anyways.
But we were really stoked. He was on there, and I was so sad.
He was driving around in the car.
He was driving around the back seat with his homies, and he was so nice. I mean, seriously, so kind. He was like, how are y'all doing? Like, how's your night? He couldn't hear us. It was awful. I was trying to tell him that we were drinking vodka tea, which we're drinking right now in our gold Moet goblets. But I was like, we're drinking vodka tea. He's like, what? We're drinking vodka tea. What? Like, that was the entire live.
It was rough.
But you know what?
A little rough.
I love him. We're such huge fans. So we were honored.
Not his fault.
It's pretty fucking honorable to be the first to be chosen on the live. I feel like that says a lot about us and our podcast. I mean, it's a huge honor. But then. Turn of events. So I go back to the live to screen record for our fans to see what we were talking about, and it's not there. And I'm like, why is it not there? That's so strange. So bizarre. Why was it not there, Alex?
We found out that shortly after this, the car that our boy Angus was riding in was stopped by the police because apparently in Oakland you're not supposed to be driving around during quarantine.
I think that's a lie. Don't you think they just pulled him over because he was smoking?
Probably.
There's no way.
I don't know. But
not pulling over cars was a quarantine. That's crazy.
The cops pulled him over. They jacked his weed. They took his money.
I can't believe they took his money. And what do you think? Do you think it was like a $20 bill?
I don't know.
Like when he said money?
I think he said that they accused him of selling drugs.
So he probably had
a lot of weed and a lot of money, would be my guess.
No. Or they were a dick cop and he had a normal amount of weed, a couple 20s on him, and they're like, you're selling. Like, I could see that.
Possible.
It could be either.
Yes, of course.
Well, we are so sorry, Angus. Truly, we are so sorry. Please do not get arrested.
Be well.
His warrant's out for his arrest, according to his recent story. So that really sucks, because if he has to go to court and then is arrested and goes to jail, season 2 is in jeopardy.
We'll see. But hopefully Angus is, I'm sure he's able to access kind of high-powered lawyers now that should be able to
You think so?
smooth this out.
You think Euphoria has a lawyer for, everybody?
No, but I bet they'd refer him to a quality lawyer.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Especially if he's selling drugs on the side. But anyways, Angus, all our love to you. Thank you so much.
We love you.
We truly love that. That was the best Insta Live. You just are our favorite. So then, other news, we have Sydney Sweeney. She was on live today. It was kind of fun. I asked her a bunch of questions, and she's a busy gal, so she's answering her questions. I I asked her if has ever been to Coachella, or if she likes it. And it's not that exciting. She was like, yeah, I love Coachella. I was there last year. Wish I was here this year. Alex and I go to Coachella all the time. Alex, this will be it's postponed, of course, because of coronavirus till October. But it's like literally Christmas for us. We go to Coachella every year. It's our tradition with all of our friends. This is going to be my 8th year.
Your 8th or 9th?
8th or 9th.
Last year would have been, this year, last
It's
weekend would have been my 11th year.
So it would have been Alex's 11th year at Coachella. That is insane.
R.I.P.
I think it's my 9th.
But we'll make the dream come true in October as long as it's still happening.
We will. And Sydney, if you're there, like, we'd love to meet up with you.
Say what's up, girl.
Yeah, we can ask you a couple of questions that you didn't answer.
Let's hang out in the beer barn. Let's go to Sahara.
She only drinks water, though, in her life. She mentioned that she only drinks water. She must make an
exception for Coachella, though, right?
No way.
Come on,
she has work to do. No, she has a resume. Sydney. She is a hard-working girl. Sydney, she's only drinking water. Come on. I know. She might take a shot with us, but, like, I really feel like she's one of those people that probably sticks to water.
Take a shot with us.
There's a lot of water at Coachella, so we'll see her at the water booth, or the water... What are they? The water... the pig water troughs full of water. Yeah.
Yeah, where you wait in line.
Yeah,
like
Sydney, we'll meet you at the water trough. What was our other piece of Euphoric news? Our story about Maddie's episode that we just launched, which... Thank you so much. Y'all are so sweet. All your DMs are hilarious. Like, we are just loving it. Like, we also hate Nate and Maddie, so, like, we love all the commentary about their relationship. We love all the sweet DMs. Yeah, we just, like, are obsessed. But anyways, the girl who plays Little Maddie, I think her name's Kaylani. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But she's, like, probably, like, 12. But she liked our Insta story. And she shared our podcast on her story. Also, bless up, I'm pretty sure she's from Arizona, which is where I'm not from, but I went to high school there.
You lived there a long time.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense because people in Arizona are truly, like, phenomenal dancers, and she dances in the scene. So that's why she was picked.
There you go.
Her mom runs her account, though, so I was like, that's super awkward if her mom's the one that's like, thanks, and, like, reposting us, because I'm like, it's obviously not her. She's, like, 12. She's not listening to our podcast where we're, like, screaming cunt into the microphone and, like, making really dirty-ass jokes. Like, there's no way. So, it's probably her mom. So, you know what, though? That, like,
shout out Kalani's mom.
I was going to say, that makes it even better. That means the mom is, like, here for cunts and dirty jokes.
Or she's just not screening who she's liking
she's just
and all
stupid.
and commenting on it.
True. Anyways,
which is very positive.
That's really it, though, as far as, like, Euphoria news. But I feel like
I think so.
We wouldn't be, like, serving our audience justice if we didn't give a little background on our, like, Halloween passion and love. True. I don't know, do you want to give a little, like, how did our first Halloween party come to start, and, like, maybe just give the fans a little bit of a background.
So, I grew up always loving Halloween, because my mom is a big collector, and she collects, like, old Halloween decorations, like 30s through, like, 50s stuff, you know? So, Halloween was a big deal. The whole house was decked out, everything. Good costumes all around, everything. So I've always been a big Halloween guy. Plus, I fucking love horror movies.
Yeah. And you love, like, cross-dressing, you like dressing up, like, you're very into all this.
Cross-dressed on a couple Halloweens. I do love dressing up. Then our first Halloween together in our apartment rolls around back in old Portland, Oregon.
It was our first apartment together, and we were like, what could be better to christen our first home than a Halloween party? So we threw a fucking rager. First of all, our apartment was much larger than this, because in New York, like, let's be honest, everything's small.
Yeah, we had a one-bedroom. We had a decent amount of space.
We invited, like, everyone. It, like, doubled. There were, like, 45 people in our one-bedroom apartment. Even more. Maybe 50. It was a good-sized party. But it was great. It was, like, a rager. So it was so successful that we decided to just start a new tradition where we had a Halloween party every year. Mm-hmm. And every year, all of our friends were, like, literally counting down the minutes.
And every year, the decorations
maybe they weren't, but I feel like they should have.
Like, better and better.
Yes.
And the last year, the decorations were, like,
top
insane.
notch.
Like, so good. I picked up so much, like, crazy random stuff at Goodwill over the years. Like, I was borrowing stuff.
It looked like
It looked fucking good. And our apartment building was old. It was from, like, 1900. So it kind of looked like spooky. It had the right vibe.
And we called it Castle Grayskull was the name of our... Well, we called it that.
We did.
And yeah.
A good spooky He-Man reference.
It was great. I mean, every year it was a total banger. We had a great turnout. Everyone got wasted. Alex, every single year, without fail, threw up. One year he threw up out. So we were on the third story of our apartment building. One year, Alex woke up and he was like, wasn't last night fun? Like, I'm so glad it's the first year I didn't throw up. I was like,
yeah.
You projectile vomited out our bedroom window from the third story. So I was on the first floor.
Because I slept right next to the window. Like,
yeah,
my side
our bed
of the
was
bed
up against
next
the
to
window.
And apparently I just rolled the window up and threw it.
Well, you looked like you were going to get sick, and I was like, oh my god, you need to run to the bathroom. And he just opened a window, his blackout drunk, opened his window right by the bed, and just projectile vomited everywhere. Thank God, though. I didn't get anywhere on the window, nowhere
Very
inside.
clean.
So for me, it was great. I didn't have to clean a thing. But for our neighbor on the first floor, like, I'm sure that was treacherous. That's so awful.
If you're listening, I'm sorry.
If our neighbor on the first floor of Flanders Street Apartments is listening.
But yeah, I get a little anxious hosting people and doing like a party. I get very nervous. So I overdrink.
You think?
I drink a lot really, really fast. And then I am just like, fuck for like the whole night.
Yeah.
And at some point I throw up, inevitably.
I carry my own because I'm like really good at partying. So, anyways, we'll move on.
Anyways,
I feel like we can just dive right in. But that being said, since we love Halloween, it's natural that we would we put a little Halloween banner up. Like we got a little spirited. We got our costumes. Yeah, a
little baby
head and a rat. Like ooh, spooky. We have a black cat. He's really gray, but like. For today, he's black. A big gray, scary, cursed tabby.
Yeah, cursed tabby.
His name's Meatball. He's so evil.
Yes.
Oh my god, I hope my jacket isn't wrecking this mic. It probably is. I need to stop moving. Sorry, everybody, if it's so annoying. We
apologize if the audio on this episode is just shit.
I'll just stop moving. I'll be really robotic.
So yeah, episode 6. Episode
it's
6,
Halloween in
the Halloween episode.
Where are we? Southern California.
Somewhere in Southern California.
Things are getting spooky.
Things are getting fucking spooky.
Mm-hmm.
The episode is titled "The Next Episode" after the Dr. Dre song off of 2001. Yes. Again,
once again, nothing.
They don't play the song. And this is also the last episode of Euphoria that they name after a hip-hop song. So there's kind of that middle segment, episodes 2 through 6 are all named after hip-hop songs, and then they abandon it, and this is the last one. I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, it doesn't even... I was trying to find like a justification for it.
why they named it that.
And I was thinking about the themes of the songs and whether they relate to the episodes. And for the most part, they don't really. Like, 03 Bonnie and Clyde is pretty obviously a reference to Nate and Maddie. But it's the episode where he chokes her, and I feel like 03 Bonnie and Clyde would be a better title name for this episode.
Yes,
it's more
because they come in together, united.
We're villains on the run.
Yes.
Like, Bonnie and Clyde were murderers. Like, Nate and Maddie were basically murderers. But they're more united in this episode, so it kind of just doesn't, make that much sense to me.
No. They're in, the worst spot ever, in their relationship. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Something like My Daddy didn't make a ton of sense. I couldn't really find, episodes where it really
made sense. It rang true to what the episode
was. But anyways, we got the next episode. This is the second episode in a row. Second episode in a row directed by a female director.
Woo! Females!
So this one was directed by Pippa Bianco. And Pippa? It seems like her main other thing is that she wrote a movie called Let It Bleed about boxing with Aaron Eckhart. Oh, excuse me. A little bit of blood there. She also was a production assistant on The Bachelorette at some point.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She does a great job with the episode, though. But the episode prior to this, last week's, was directed by Jennifer Morrison. And we found a little Euphoria connection here. So amongst her credits, she played Emma from the show Once Upon a Time, who, if you remember, was the subject of Kat's fanfic.
Oh, Hook and Emma.
With Hook and Emma.
Hook and Emma.
So she is some character involved with the old Captain Hook that Kat writes fanfiction about. And then here she is, fresh from playing Emma, directing an episode of Euphoria.
Makes sense. What I was going to say self-absorbed, but I guess, she's trying to shout herself out.
Well, she didn't direct the episode with the fanfic. Not the same episode.
I was going to say, that's a little weird. You're let me throw in my,
It's either a coincidence or Sam Levinson wrote in the Hook and Emma scene knowing that he was going to have her directing.
Got it. Okay.
But, yeah. And then we could get into it. We got old McKay's past here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, first of all, Algie Smith, this is when we really see him shine. Algie, if you're listening to this, which you probably are because we're like best friends now after our phone call, I feel like you just like your acting level was like Oscar worthy in this episode. Like it was emotional, it was raw. So I just have to say that right off the bat.
He doesn't really get a lot to do in the episodes prior to this,
no.
But in this episode, you're like, oh, okay, like Algie's got some chops, like he does a great job.
Yeah, like.
And go figure, he's into football, and also go figure, he's got a super fucked up relationship with his dad, who is basically like a slightly toned down version of Cal.
Yeah, I think also it's so shitty because he not only is like. I can't even go into it. I fucking hate sports. I really do. Like, not like, I like going to games, it's fun, whatever, but like, as a lifestyle, like, people that are obsessed with sports, parents that make their kids do sports and then are hard on them, I just, like, I can't deal. Like, it's a lot.
I grew up playing sports, and I love playing sports, but I was always
your dad wasn't making you, like, throw up on the field.
No,
it was,
for
like,
me, it was always
practice.
rec league. It was always just for fun. And,
yeah,
and I did have a lot of fun. And, I mean, it's okay that there's kind of this more serious level, but I feel like you get into a lot of really toxic, fucked up parenting once you get to the more serious level. There's always the gems out there.
Yep.
But, like...
Well, we have friends that have become successful... We have friends that have become successful athletes. So it's not that, like you said, it's not that, like, that can't happen, but it's like, but you don't need to pressure your kid so much that they're fucking throwing up on the side. I feel like McKay was when he was 8 years old.
Yeah, there's, like, a weird idea that for your kid to be... I don't know. It's weird that the idea is that if you want your kid to be super successful at sports, you have to, like, push them. And it shouldn't even be about what you want. It should be about what the kid wants. But even if the kid wants to be super successful about sports, I don't really know why there has to be, like, this super, like, aggressive, like, pushing them to the limit, like, relationship, because that's not required to be really great at sports.
No,
like,
not at all. And I have nothing to say. Honestly, like, it makes me mad. I just felt so bad for him. I had more empathy for McKay in this one because seeing him, like, grow up like that, it was really fucked up. And it also reminded me of Waves with Alexa Demi.
Yeah.
It was literally, like, Waves definitely pulled.
Waves with the main actor of Waves, who was just cast in Euphoria as well.
Yeah, which was phenomenal. That was a great film.
That whole movie basically feels like it's about McKay and his dad.
I think it was.
Very similar.
I think A24 sat down and they were like, what could we do to talk more about? We really want, like, McKay's story out here.
Because it's a slightly Waves and McKay in Euphoria. Both are, like, a slightly less fucked up version than Cal. Like, the Waves dad football player relationship is not as, like, toxic or fucking weird and sexual as Cal's.
Yeah.
They're, like, kind of buds, but the dad, like, pushes him way too hard, and that's very, like, this one. Like,
agreed.
The dad doesn't know where to draw the line and just, like, take care of his kid.
No, not at all.
Bunch
so
of
it's
psychopaths.
really fucking sad. His dad also gives him, like, the worst advice of all time. He's literally, like, hold in every emotion, like, do not let it out, like, you will lose. It's like, lose what? Like,
yeah.
Like, that is so fucking stupid. That's the worst advice you could ever give a kid. Also, I feel bad for, like, guys that feel like they can't let out emotions. Like, guys and girls both, whatever the fuck you are. Animal, like a gray tabby, whatever. Like, you should be able to let out your emotions.
We encourage Meatball to fully express himself.
We do, all the time. And he does it. So
yes,
it's just
he
like...
screams quite a lot.
He's just like, I don't know, he got Bad Dad Award for me in this one. Bad Dad.
Yeah, but while this whole sequence, this training montage is happening, McKay is reciting this poem to himself. So I was, like, curious what that was. So the quote is from a poem called America by a Jamaican-born poet who was a part of the Harlem Renaissance movement named Claude McKay. So possibly this is
Claude McKay?
Possibly this is McKay's, like, great-great-grandfather.
It's absolutely his grandfather.
But Claude McKay was, interestingly, a pretty noted bisexual. A lot of his poems were written without specifying who the narrator, like, what the narrator's gender was, so you weren't sure.
Got it.
What their relationship to other characters was. And he was also just explicitly, like, dating men sometimes and also dating women.
So he was a cool dude.
Yeah, and he was also a communist for a while in, like, the early 20s, and then he became disillusioned with communism, and then he became a Catholic.
Okay, so despite all that, I thought the quote, like, had stuff about football in it. So did this, like, historian play football?
I don't think it was about football. I don't think it ever mentions football.
I thought it was like, you have to move the football, like, down the field if you're, like, motivated.
You have to throw the ball.
Throw the pigskin over the mountains, and you will win and keep your emotions down, or you will lose. I thought that was the quote.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it wasn't. But then
Yeah.
my other point of that scene, all I wanted to bring up was, I was talking to Alex about this earlier. I really don't understand why McKay is so ashamed that Cassie has a sex video. Like, okay, we get it. Like, it's not ideal, right? Like, it's not the most ideal in general to have a sex video out of yourself. Maybe you like it, maybe you do. No judgment, but, like, I'm just saying, like, I kind of understand why that would be a little bit of, like, a topic of discussion, but I don't understand why he's so, like, he always turns it on her. It's never like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Can we talk about it? Like, why are guys disrespecting you and replaying it? He never, like, is that, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
he's
you
always
have the
like,
scene where he's, like, looking through all the photos and stuff, and they're talking about it, and you think that he's, like, into it, and then they're like, he just could never, like, get
yeah,
over
shakes
it.
his head.
Like,
He's, like, pissed. I'm like, isn't that kind of hot? You're, like, watching your girlfriend, like, have sex.
I think McKay is kind of a prude. I think he has a very, like, conservative, like, traditional background. I mean, it's not uncommon for football culture to be very,
True.
Yeah, it's in the football, he's probably got some traditional values.
Absolutely.
So I think McKay is kind of a prude, and I think he is, like,
more inexperienced, like,
he's
in
kind of
dating and everything.
possessive, he's kind of a prude, he's not super sexually open-minded. I don't know. I would be stoked, personally, if I were him.
Yeah, I don't get it. Cassie is such a fucking catch, and he is just blowing it.
Yeah.
Left and right, blowing it.
Yeah, left and right.
But anyways, we get this amazing intro from that with a good song.
Yes, they segue into Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos, which is one of my all-time, like, favorite songs of that era.
So good.
It's so creepy.
It's, like,
and
haunting.
Atmospheric. It belongs in a David Lynch movie.
It's perfect for the Halloween
Actually, I think
episode.
it might be.
I think it is. It might be.
Great song.
Such a good song.
Pretty but creepy. And there you go. There's McKay.
There's McKay. So that's, like, McKay's big debut intro. So shout out Algie. Great acting.
Yes.
The jacket.
And then
anyways,
on.
So I put for my first note after the credits, I said, I literally, like, was gasped out loud, even though I've seen this so many times, when Jules rejects Rue at the door. They're like, they exchange cute banter.
Jules for Halloween.
Not only that, she goes, Jules, you look fucking amazing, which
Yeah.
is so sweet. And Jules is just like, okay, let's go. And it's like, bitch, she was just so nice to you. Like,
this is the first
this is your best fucking friend.
Whack things Jules does in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Jules is very rude to Rue.
I've never said this any episode we've done, but I do not stand Jules in this episode. I feel like she's really rude.
Yeah, rewatching this episode,
excuse.
I forgot how shitty Jules turns at the end of this show. Like, I love her up until this episode, and then I forgot that the last 3 episodes she's basically just like really like terrible. I don't. Which is such a bummer.
I'm not like, oh my god, like Jules out of sight, out of mind. Like, I'm not over with her, but like I agree with you. Like, it just gets worse and worse and worse from here. Yeah. Absolutely.
So she's so rude to Rue. But,
and that's so sad because Rue's just like, Rue's just being like not only a good friend, but like Rue really, to be fair, hasn't done anything that's psycho. She hasn't even been like, I love you. Like, she talks about it to other people that she trusts, but she hasn't like talked to like the school friends or anything. So I don't know.
But we got Jules is dressed as Juliet from the 90s Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet.
Such a good movie
Claire
in quarantine.
Danes.
Watch
Claire
it if you haven't seen it.
And Rue apparently is dressed as Marlene Dietrich from the movie Morocco. Which
Have you seen this movie?
I have not. But the reference makes sense because in that movie, Marlene Dietrich dresses in a men's tuxedo and kisses a woman. So that makes sense. This is all making sense.
Okay, it's
I
all,
think all the costumes
the dots
in
are
show
connected.
make a lot of sense.
So then, should we just kind of like quickly breeze through the girls' costumes that all get picked up, or no?
We can do it as we
go.
reach them.
Okay, they're all so
or
good.
Whatever, I don't know.
I fucking love all their costumes.
I mean,
no, it's fine. I was just like,
next up's
Cassie.
Who I absolutely love this outfit because
So
I love
good.
True Romance, which is, if you haven't seen it, like, do yourself a favor and see it. It's got every great actor. It's written by Quentin Tarantino, but not directed. It's got Dennis Hopper. It's got Christopher Walken. It's got Patricia Arquette. It's got Christian Slater. It's got, I don't know, a bunch of other people. It's fucking great. It's got Gary Oldman playing a white Jamaican gangster with dreadlocks. Like,
absurd.
What's not to love?
Well, it's a classic. So it's quarantine. So like, watch it. because I feel like it'll enhance Cassie for you. I mean, she's already so enhanced, but, you know.
It's a great costume from a great character from a great movie.
I also like the juxtaposition of they show her going down the stairs to her friends, and her friends are like, ah, and she's like, oh, like, she, like, feels validated, because later on they show her walking down the stairs and McKay's there, and he's kind of like, which is, like, so lame, because it's like, the boyfriend should be the one jizzing in his pants when she walks down in that outfit. I mean, she's wearing a bra and a skirt. It looks hot as hell.
McKay is not stoked.
No, he's not stoked.
Doesn't get the reference.
I just think that's funny, because it's like, you'd think it'd be opposite. Her friends might be like, ooh, I don't know. But her friends are like, like clapping, and McKay is like, ugh. Yeah. It's like, it's just funny.
McKay is not stoked. He makes Cassie change outfits and put on his fucking football jersey. Like,
this is atrocious. This is literally
Basic City.
I would slap you.
A sports costume is
Did you
the
hear me?
worst.
I would literally slap you if you made me do this.
A sports costume is the worst costume, and we have explicitly forbidden sports costumes at our Halloween party because of how cheap and lazy they are.
We literally, every year, we said, if you show up in a sports outfit, meaning like you just threw on a jersey, you're not fucking invited to our party.
You're not coming in.
You can't sit with us. So we do not stand McKay giving her this dirty old fucking high school football jersey. It's like,
you should
feel fucking honored that your girlfriend looks the way she does and is proud of it and is strutting her confidence, and you give her a fucking dirty ass football jersey. Oh, don't even get me started.
Which is one of many things that makes Daniel such a frustrating character, because he gets the reference and he loves it. And for much of this episode and last episode, Daniel seems like a much better fit for Cassie than McKay.
I agree.
But we'll get sooner or later to why that is not the case.
Yeah.
But at this point, he seems like a great fit. He gets the reference. He loves it.
Speaking of Daniel, there's a funny jab that Kat makes at the entrance of the Halloween party. Obviously, Kat and Jules are on, like, different levels. They're both trying to get wasted tonight. They're just kind of, like, going through shit. But Kat, like, disses Daniel immediately. He's, like, drinking, and he's like, what? She's, like, staring at him, and she pours a shot, and she goes, ew, like... Or she doesn't say ew, she's like, Ted Bundy was taller, because he's dressed as Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
And he just gives her this, like, disgusting foul look and walks away. And I don't know why I love that. Because, like, Kat needed to, like, give him a little bit of that, you know, after her breakup at 11 years old.
That's a little much.
No, when someone breaks up with you, it doesn't matter what age, like, you gotta, like, shove it back, and I love that.
Later, we find out that Daniel fully deserves this, but at this point in time, he was just the guy that broke up with her when he was 11. He doesn't deserve her giving him shit at a party.
No, he does, because he was giving her a dirty look and goes, what? Like she's some fucking pig at the party.
She was giving him a dirty look.
No, she wasn't. She was pouring a shot at. She was just looking at him. I promise. We'll rewatch it.
All right, we'll rewatch it.
Anyway,
she is holding on to an old grudge a little much.
Daniel's a piece of fucking burning shit.
He is, but we don't know that yet. And she's being pretty salty to him for an 11-year-old breakup.
But Kat on the side, she's making that dough.
Yeah, Kat is continuing to do awful twerking for old men on the internet. Yeah. In this case, she now has 4 pay pigs.
Which I laughed out loud. I was like, what the fuck is a pay pig? Is this a Halloween costume I'm not aware of?
It's financial domination.
Is that really what people throw around, though? Or are you like, I have a... Like, instead of like a pimp, I have a pay pig?
It's the term. The girl is a findom, and the people that pay her money are pay pigs.
Oh my god, I've never heard... I'm so naive. I've never heard of this. I'm gonna start calling you my pay pig.
If you're like an online, like... cam girl, sex worker type vibe, that's pretty much the best gig you can get, because most of the time you don't even have to get naked. You just tell them, send me money, and then they send you money. So it's a great gig to get in. And this would be... You don't have a job right now. You should get into this right now. It's quarantine. Do guys do it? I've had some requests for my feet pics, you know. I have very shapely feet.
What the fuck? You don't? Oh my god.
Cliff wanted feet pics from me.
Ew, sick. It's a friend of ours. Don't even ask. Okay, so moving on. Kat's making that money, but she's also obviously, like, we kind of talked about this a little bit, her confidence is definitely cracking. I think at first she was really feeling on top of the world with, like, this, like, having her pay pigs all lined up, and, like, she's doing her, like, twerking in the camera. She's feeling herself. Yeah. But now, she's, you know, you could just tell, especially with Ethan, that she's, like...
She's trying very hard to feel empowered, like she can do whatever she wants, like she's sexually liberated. And while she's technically, like, doing these things and being free in those ways, I think she's neglecting like her own personal
identity,
emotionally, sexually.
That's not her identity.
She's not doing what she wants, really. Like she's not really like fulfilled by these actions. She like gets the feeling of like I'm a boss from this, but this isn't really. It's clear that this isn't really like her thing. It's not like she's like truly like loving
owning
this
it.
Life.
Yeah, she's not.
Like she's not emotionally fulfilled by having these like pay pigs.
So her and Jules exchange tequila. Unless you have anything to say before that, they have this like little tequila exchange, and Jules like, tequila makes me dance, and Kat's like,
same.
What does she say? Same.
Oh, I don't know what Kat says. That's what I say.
I think Kat's like, ooh, tequila
makes me want to dance.
Makes me want to put on my cat mask and twerk.
Twerk for those pay pigs. Let me go roll around in them boats.
Reminds me of my pay pigs back in the pen.
Ooh, yeah.
Stupid.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, they both are drinking tequila. I don't know about everyone watching, but like when I drink tequila, I literally, it's the only alcohol. I can drink anything under the sun and I can have a great night and I can party. I mean, both of us really can. Like truly, ask any of our friends or acquaintances, like we can get fucking lit and nothing happens. We're just really good at partying, except for when you projectile vomit out the window. But that was actually good because you didn't get
I'm
into
on
bed.
a once-a-year schedule, and it's Halloween.
Halloween's the only time.
If you can throw up once a year and it's always Halloween, that's fine. I can cope with that. You know?
We grant you the permission that is fine. But that being said, when I drink tequila, I feel completely out of control. I don't quite enjoy it, but I'll drink it because like I just like getting drunk and having fun. So like if someone offers it, great. But I don't choose it because if I do, things aren't going well for Paige Blazer.
I haven't had problems with tequila specifically.
They just might be sloppy, and I'm a very put together drunk. So for me to get all sloppy and shit, it's just like
I get sloppy when I mix a bunch of shit and drink really fast, like on Halloween.
Yeah, like on Halloween. But anyway, so they're doing tequila.
Yeah, while they're talking about tequila, while they're doing tequila, Rue tells a really great story about how she took some drugs and then drank like half a bottle of tequila and blacked out for like 3 days.
And a Xanny or something. She's like, yeah, I did.
But was still like going to school and everything, and she tells it like very deadpan, and it's pretty funny because everyone just looks at her and is like,
oh, fuck.
Okay.
No, Kat goes, oh, shit. Like, oh, that's not like good.
All right.
But it also like shows you also it's really really funny. But then for a split second you like feel kind of sad because it's like Rue's really trying to like relate to her friends again, but that must be really hard when you're like sober at a party. You know what I mean though?
Well, it must be really really hard when you're like I partied too hard stories are like
that
10x anybody else's.
I did
everyone else
like,
is like, oh, I blacked out last night. Rue's like, I blacked out for 3 days and was still living my life and didn't know it.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I went to rehab. Like,
yeah, so the contrast is there. We get it. Like, Rue's gotten pretty fucked up. I'll just say it ahead of time, ahead of superlatives. Like, Lexi is my girl this episode. Not only, I love the scene when she like opens the door and she's so excited.
Yeah, they flash back to them picking up Lexi. And there she is.
And I love Lexi
dressed as Bob Ross.
Alex and all my friends watching know this about me. Every year, I know you won't believe it because I'm like looking really cute today, but every year I dress like a fucking ugly ass bitch. I do not like looking cute on Halloween. I don't like looking like a hoe or a slut. Like I'm a slut all the time, so like for me to like Halloween's not like my one night to shine. Like it's fine. So I always dress really fucking hideous, and I'll do a slideshow of Alex and I's.
They're largely hideous.
Of our costumes.
Yeah.
I would love for our fans to see all of our costumes through our parties because they're really good, and I feel like all of our Euphoria like cast members would love it too.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, Lexi's great. She opens the door. She's dressed as Bob Ross. She's so cute too.
Everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
You just want to don't you just want to like date her as a guy? Like I feel like sometimes she's literally my favorite girl.
She's not really my type.
She's goofy though.
But,
yeah,
like,
she is. She's like super goofy. She's just like funny.
She is funny. She's super cool.
Do you know what I mean? Like
she's someone
funny.
I would be good friends with.
Yeah,
for sure.
she kind of reminds me of our friend Cooper. No?
I don't know.
I think she reminds me of Cooper.
But
in a good way.
But
I think she's funny. Wow, way to shut me down, Alex.
I don't know. I don't see it. I never thought of that.
She's really funny. She just is funny and innocent and like cute. But anyways, she like
Lexi's great.
is in her costume and her mom.
Yeah, like Mrs. Howard is
our favorite.
One of the great side characters. She's up there with like Ashtray and Monaco as like one of these great like Euphoria side characters. Because she's always funny, she's always drunk, and she's always like mildly inappropriate. and like kind of alluding to her own like sex shit in like funny ways. But,
well, she's also always wasted.
Yeah, she's always wasted. Yeah. So she's like, when Lexi comes out, the mom's like, "Hey, creepy." And then she says, "Do me a favor and tell me how many girlfriends of yours are dressed like 50-year-old men." Which is great. She's snarky as shit.
It is great because Cassie and her are such opposites. Like, Cassie's like looking hot, and like Lexi's just like, "I'm Bob Ross." It's funny.
Love the mom.
I love
She's
it.
Great.
Somebody flashed back to the party. Or actually, no. They're walking to the party. I wrote a little note here. I just thought it was so sad when Rue is talking about how, like, that feeling you get when, like, someone starts to not like you anymore, but you're, like, almost would rather live in ignorant bliss of it than, like, ask them outright, like, yo, what's up? Because you're going to get that answer of, like, oh, I'm not really into this anymore, which is so painful. And she's so in love with Jules. So I don't know. That part just, like, it's like a dagger to the heart.
It's kind of like the episode when Jules doesn't show up to class and Rue's like,
yeah, and freaks out, has like anxiety.
Shitty feeling. We probably all felt that.
We go into we're going into Cal right now.
Yeah.
And this is like, we were literally drunk watching this episode per usual. When are we not drunk? I say that all the time, but like truly we were drunk.
Forgot how ridiculous this is.
And we were laughing. We rewatched the scene like 3 times. We were like hysterically laughing.
It's pretty fucking funny. So the Jacobs family
goes on a steamed night out.
Yeah, you take us through it.
I mean, you can. Cal literally, like, he's, like, walking in there, getting out of the car. Like, I'm setting the scene for you. They're, like, walking, and you're thinking they must be going somewhere really nice, because the way Cal's talking about it, you would think. He's like, Nate, hold your head high. You are innocent. Like, you walk into this Cheesecake Factory with your head held high. And it gives him this little, like, parking lot lecture. And they literally walk into what looks like a fucking Red Lobster, Black Angus, or a Cheesecake Factory. It's not Black Anus. It's probably the Cheesecake Factory. So they literally walk into this, like, subpar restaurant, and you have to tell the rest. I literally will keep laughing. Kyle just turns to every single fucking member of his family and is like, "You getting the mac and mash? You getting the mac and mash? Mac and mash? Mac and mash? Mac and mash? Hey, mac and mash?"
Yeah.
It's like, hey, A, like, you're saying it so fast. B, like, why would you turn to your whole family and talk about a kid's meal? Like, you're literally asking your wife and your older sons if they're gonna have a kid's meal at this, like, nice, esteemed restaurant. I mean, I can't.
Yeah, like, I'm glad that they go out to dinner to get mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. And everyone in the family is getting that. Like, it's literally a kid's meal. And then Nate's like, Aaron's like, yeah, probably. And then Nate's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have the broccoli and garlic.
No, I think Aaron says that.
No, Aaron's like, yeah, probably. I'll have the mac and mash or whatever.
That is another reason we love Aaron. Mac and mash. She chose the mac and mash. That's actually a really good meal.
So
also.
Then Nate's like, I think I'll have the broccoli and garlic. And Kyle goes, yeah,
broccoli garlic.
That's a good dish.
That's a good dish.
Like,
do you think the
come on, Cal?
Do you think you know what I like to picture?
Oh, the broccoli. It's a good dish. Like,
you know what I like to picture? I like to picture the table read for this.
Bunch
like
of children.
Cal reading his script and being like, mac and mash, mac and mash,
mac and mash,
mac and mash,
mac and mash. Oh, the broccoli. Yeah, that's a good dish.
Nate or Jacob Elordi like pauses. He's like, this is great writing.
Bunch of children.
Or he looks up. He's like looks up at Sam at the table read. He's like, how would you like me to say that line? Like, I'll take the broccoli and garlic.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I can't. It was just a bad. It was. I love Euphoria, but that was the only scene where I'm like, we really could nix that. Like, the writing for that is so weird.
It's Cal at his most, like, dad.
I guess.
Cal is being very dad here. Like,
yeah, that's kind of weird.
So then he gets in a conversation with the manager. The manager basically is like, we're not serving you. And then interestingly...
Which is, I'm sorry, that is so fucking stupid.
A
manager at Cheesecake Factory is like,
Jacob's family.
You know what?
Your son was suspended. Abusers.
Your son was suspended. You can't eat at a Cheesecake Factory. They don't give a shit. They only want is money.
From someone coming from a small town, I have zero trouble believing that this would happen. I could 100% seeing a restaurant in my small town denying service. to the local high school like star quarterback in his family if he got accused of choking.
I'm not condoning
that,
what
like,
Nate did.
would
I'm
happen.
not saying like, oh Nate, you're fine. Like,
No, I know.
You
I'm
get
just
to eat
saying
the mac
this
and mash.
would
I'm
happen.
saying like, this is so stupid. Like,
This would happen in the small town. I believe this 100%.
So he's like, we'll get your bags to go and we'll bring them out to the car. It's like, what the fuck?
So he's like no, and Cal then says, "You have a nice night," which is the same thing that old Nate says to Jules.
Old Nate says
to Jules when he like is threatening her. So it runs in the fucking Jacobs family to threaten people by saying, "You have a nice night."
You have a nice night.
So clear where Nate got that.
You have a nice night.
Yeah.
I'm
so then we're on to
then
at the old Nate and Maddie are having their motel rendezvous.
Yes. Also, Nate's creepy as fuck. They do that montage of him following Jules.
Oh yeah.
Then he follows
and printing off her
Maddie. He's like watching Maddie run around the track. Like,
yeah, he's a total fucking.
Yeah, he's like blowing on the when it comes out of the printer. He's like.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Naked body.
That was so weird. He's such a fucking perv.
He's so weird.
And then there's a really funny line when they're doing their motel montage where they're like, Maddie always made him feel better. And as they're saying that line, they're showing them like screaming at each other.
She's got like raccoon eyes. She's like sobbing and screaming.
Them having sex, which we know means that she's faking it.
Or that her face is on a pillow and Nate's from behind.
And then
like a gorilla.
After that, they're in bed watching like an aquarium on the TV. They're literally just watching like fish go around in a tank on TV. Like,
maybe they couldn't afford cable on set.
Fish, fake sex, and
I don't know. Yeah, it looked miserable.
It's the recipe for feeling better.
It didn't look enjoyable, but it also goes to show that like their relationship really is so fucked. And I thought, the end of the Halloween episode doesn't really, like, tell my thoughts, but my thought was they're starting to get to the point where they're getting tired of this. It's like a hamster wheel. They're fighting, they're having sex. I think they're both being a little tired. Yeah, they're watching.
Yeah, they're tired of watching the fish
aquarium tanks. Like. Yeah, I would too. That's such a boring relationship.
Yep.
So then we move back to the party.
Back to the party.
Back to the Halloween party.
And look who Rue sees from across the room. It's Gia.
It's Tia and Tamara with Gia.
Gia's kind of dumb. Like, doesn't she know that Rue's going to be at this party?
She's not dumb. She's young and, like, having fun. Honestly...
But she's got to know Rue's going to be at that party, right?
Who cares? You're the older sibling. You have one younger sister, so you don't get it. When you're the youngest child, you don't give a shit if your older sibling's at a party. Like, it's kind of like a power move. You're like, fuck it, like, get out.
But then the older sibling can tell the mom everything you're doing.
So
get you in trouble.
Rue's not going to do that. Rue and Gia are homies.
Alright. Anyway.
She didn't tell her about, they covered for her. She's like, I was throwing up on the Galvatron. Was it called Galvatron?
Yeah, whatever. But Rue is not happy that
okay, cut me off. I was just saying, she covered for her.
I know, but this is
like... her mom.
But this is like strike two. Like, she covered for her once, and now here she is at a high school party with the same Roy and Troy idiot.
So what?
Getting fucked up
She's
with him
in high
again.
School.
Like, Rue's not going to keep covering for her.
Rue was doing drugs at 13. Slow your roll. She's having a little blunt.
Well, yeah, but Rue's trying to stop Gia from going down her path. Gia's got to know that Rue's not going to keep her ass
Rue's
covered
a good
forever
sister.
if she keeps hanging out with Roy and Troy.
Rue is a good sister.
Also, which one is it? Is this Roy or is this Troy?
It's Roy.
It's with Joy. With Gia.
It's Roy.
It's Roy?
Yeah, when he's in the chair, she goes, I don't care who the fuck you are, Troy, Roy, and he goes, I'm Roy. She goes, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Well, Roy is dressed as what I believe is Malcolm X. Gia's dressed as a Black Panther, which is cool. Like,
she looks cute.
Pretty good costumes.
She looks really cute. I like when Rue's like, go tell my sister she looks pretty tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then, Rue and Lexi threaten Roy with a list of characters from the show The Wire.
Well, we were laughing because we're like, who are these
heavy
names?
hitters that are going to fuck him up. I recognize some of them as from The Wire, but I had to look it up to make sure they all were, and they all are.
So the one that Lexi says, that's on Weebay?
Weebay.
She's like,
they're all from The Wire.
Weebay.
Omar, Marlo, Avon, Brother Mozone, Bodie, Stringer. And then Lexi's like, yeah, we'll even get Weebay. That's great.
I don't know if she made that up, but it is a real name.
They're all from The Wire.
That's so great. The Wire, another show you can watch during quarantine. We just started it, actually, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, we're only a few episodes in, but The Wire's tight so far.
But that's such a good scene. Rue is such a badass, by the way. Like, she's such a good sister, because she's not embarrassing. Like, she doesn't do shit to, like, humiliate Gia. She's very, like, come here for a second. And it's like Gia kind of, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. She's not an embarrassing sibling.
Yeah.
She handles her shit.
Yep.
So that part's so funny.
Also during this part, Rue whips out a great threat. She says, "We'll call our like heavy hitters or something and go to work on you with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch," which is a line taken from Pulp Fiction, which it turns out Pulp Fiction took that line from a 1973 movie called Charlie Varick. So Quentin Tarantino, being a huge movie nerd, pulled that line from that movie, and then Euphoria pulled it from Pulp Fiction.
Wow, a domino effect.
But the meaning here, so I looked this up, so it sounds like just kind of an ominous threat, but really this is referencing a type of torture where you get a pair of pliers really, really hot with a blowtorch, and then you pinch someone's skin, and the heat melts the skin off, but then because it's so hot, it cauterizes the wound so that you don't bleed to death. So you can basically just melt chunks of someone's skin off, but then they don't bleed to death because it's so hot, it cauterizes the veins and you don't bleed out.
Cauterizes. What a word. I like that word. Cauterizes. So does it mean like cut?
No, it's when heat like sears something shut. So like if you like lost your arm and you needed to close the veins really quick, you could hypothetically put your arm on something really hot and the heat would like sear like whatever was there, like
cauterize the Kraft mac and cheese.
That's why people don't
cold
bleed.
In the pot.
This is why people don't bleed from lightsaber wounds in Star Wars, because the
blade
instantly cauterizes the wound. That's why there's
once
no
you
blood.
start talking about Star Wars,
Except in New Hope when the guy's arm gets chopped off in the cantina.
We're not talking about Star Wars in this podcast ever again.
Anyways. Anyways,
I cauterize the next scene.
No, you didn't.
All I have to say is the whole party. First of all, the lighting is like my favorite. It's like blue, hues of green, pink. I feel like I'm wearing the colors. Purple. I'm wearing a lot of purple.
Yeah.
It's just like it's good. It feels like you're at a high school party. I mean, it's a very good party. I didn't go to any of this great. It's very lit.
Yeah.
I love the dancing. The music is phenomenal, and we will go deep diving into the music later. But like, it's just great. This party could not be more lit. Like, I want to go to this party. So I just want to say, like, overall, the filming of this was really good.
Yeah, it looks like a sweet party.
Meatball's adjusting here.
Yeah. So then we get a little Cat and Ethan time. Ethan shows up. He's like, and he's dressed.
Wait, no, you look like him.
Yeah, I look better than him because despite how much I love Ethan, he has the laziest Halloween costume in the episode.
Oh, but he's so sweet.
I love Ethan. I'm not shitting on him, but he has a lousy Halloween costume. He wouldn't be allowed into our Halloween party.
I want Ethan on the podcast too. Oh my god, he'd be so cute.
Let's ask him. So yeah, Kat gets some points here though for being dressed as Miss 45. She doesn't really do a very traditional version of it, but wow.
All right, the cat is in the podcast.
Bye, Meatball. Miss 45 is a great old school like grindhousey type movie by Abel Ferrara, a great director. But it's about a lady who has a lot of really shitty stuff happen to her, and then she dresses up as a nun, kills a bunch of people.
Why did she dress up as a nun?
She goes to a Halloween party.
But why a nun? Wouldn't you want to dress up like a SWAT officer or like something?
A SWAT officer? Who wants to dress up as a SWAT officer? Anyway,
something cool. I don't know.
Kat has a good costume. She doesn't really do it traditionally to the character where you would know that she was Miss 45, but it's still a good costume. Okay. So she gets some points for it. She's kind of just a slutty nun, but like
I like it. I think it's cool. It's like a vinyl nun.
It's
like her. She's a vinyl.
It's like a slutty like BDSM nun, which isn't really the Miss 45 look, but it's fine.
Yeah, but it fits like her vibe right now. Like she's,
it fits how bitchy she's being to poor sweet Ethan.
Oh my god!
She's immediately like, "What's your weird fascination with me?" Like,
yeah, it's weird that she goes that hard because she's such a sweet girl.
Calm down. Ethan's so nice.
He's so nice. He's clearly just so into her, and I don't know. Like, I get what happened at the fair. I do. Like, I would have left too. I would have been really jealous if he's talking to some hot babe with blonde hair, and you're like already self-conscious. Like, I get that part, but like, let's move on, Kat. Let's move on. He's so sweet. He said he was sorry. He didn't even say sorry.
She hasn't even given him the chance to explain. And he does have an explanation.
She
won't even give him the chance.
I know.
Not cool.
So it's not good. So they go off and do their little rendezvous. We'll get back to that because then we get to Fez.
Yeah, we got Fez outside. Fez is dressed as Scarface. Fez has something very insightful to say about Rue, which is basically he's like, "Don't worry about all that shit you said to me. Like, you're a drug addict. Like,
I don't trust
drug
anything
addicts
a
are
drug
always
addict
looking
says.
for an angle. I don't believe anything a drug addict says.
Yeah.
So,
He's like,
nothing
I
personal.
fucking hate you. I fucking love you. Like, it's all the same.
Yeah, which is
it doesn't
very
matter.
true. That's very real.
Yeah, he's so
but yeah,
sweet.
Rue is. I feel really bad for her here. She's like, I'm sober, and it's basically like its own drug. And she's like, the highs are really high and the lows are really low.
But she also has a good line later on when she's talking to Lexi about it too, because Lexi kind of says the same thing. She's like, I bet this is like really weird for you. Like, it must suck being here when everyone's like getting lit. And I forget what she says, but it's actually really like wise beyond her years. She's essentially like, when I'm an adult, I won't be able to do adult things either. She's like, it must be weird being a teenager and not being able to do like teenager things. And she's like, when I'm an adult, I won't be able to either. Yeah. That's like really depressing. Like,
yeah, Rue knows she's like a lifelong addict. Like,
yeah, but that fucking sucks. Like, good for her for knowing that. That's great self-awareness, but also, like, can you imagine you or I having to live my life sober? Like, I can't.
No, that's tough. That's a tough thing to live down.
But anyways, I just want to bring that up too because it's similar. But yes, her and Fesco had this great conversation on the couch. Angus, like, my man, this is so great. You capture being high on that couch so well. We've talked about this. Like,
oh yeah,
he's good at kind of like tuning out, and she's like telling him all this shit, and he's just kind of like chilling, and he's so sweet. He's
After
like,
watching him live, I'm not surprised he's good at it.
I know, but
he's
it's
kind
cute
of playing
too.
himself, which is
it's
great.
cute that they both love each other, and it's not like, you know, creepy. It's like, I love you, dude. Like, we're good.
Yeah, no, he's good at it. He's a good friend.
Then he's like, you're a girl. He points to Jules, and she's fucked.
Jules is having a time. Jules is trashed.
She's trash, which, like, you know what? You can't even talk shit on because at the Halloween, I literally was watching it and I was like, Jules is Alex. Like,
oh yeah, I'd definitely be getting in a pool.
When she's like stumbling and has like raccoon eyes and looks like a fucking mess, I'm like, that looks like you on Halloween.
Oh yeah. I always want to get in the pool when I'm drunk too, so I feel her.
Yeah.
So then, she falls in the pool. She drags Rue in with her. This is a great kind of like recreation of the scene from Romeo and Juliet where they have the kiss underwater, Leo and Claire Danes.
It's really pretty. It's a pretty scene.
Jules says the little line.
She says her Shakespearean quote. She's butterflying through the pool.
Yeah, it's a cute little like recreation.
It is. It is. I like it. I like it because she's drunk and it's not cheesy. It's like her like drunkenly like la la la, and we're just like, oh my god, you're so annoying. Like, Rue's like not like, this is so romantic. She's like,
because underwater it seems like things might be okay, but they're not.
No,
and then
because Rue snaps out of it very quickly. I think in the moment she's like, oh my god, this is what I've always wanted. But then it's like, it's not because she's drunk.
Yeah,
the drunk doesn't help.
Yep.
So
meanwhile, elsewhere, they're not having such a good time, and neither is McKay. McKay's having a bad time.
Ooh, yeah. So we flash back to McKay and Cassie's scene, which is really, really dark.
Yeah, real heavy. McKay basically just McKay is raped by a bunch of like frat dudes from the frat he's rushing or the football team or whatever that come in.
They come in while him and Cassie are having sex, and they essentially like rape him from behind. It's a really, really fucking gnarly scene. And Algie Smith, like, you killed it. Like, that, I don't even know how he just did a great job. It was so emotional.
Really
It made me like kind of pause. Like, I'm watching it, I felt like so uncomfortable. I was like,
it's
oh my god,
it's hard.
It's hard to watch.
Really.
But that being said, I mean, it's really sad. The scene where he's like in the bathroom and he's like, looking in the mirror and he's like, you know, freaking out, raging.
So here you can really feel like the lesson his dad has instilled in him. Like, you keep all that emotion inside. Like, you don't show that shit. You don't let anybody see it.
You act tough. You persevere.
Yeah, so basically, that's not working out so well. This is why this is a shitty lesson, because here's McKay being like, I have to, like, be okay and act like this doesn't bother me, and, like, you know, I have to, like, take this out on the field, and it's like...
He doesn't have a field.
You should report that shit. You should go kill those guys. Like, you should talk to Cassie about it. The last thing you should do is just bottle it up and not say anything about it.
Yeah, sorry, our cat is trying to get it.
Big surprise that, like, doesn't work out for him, but... Yeah, that's really awful. And then he basically just, like, turns around and takes that, like...
Meaty, meatball, meaty, meatball, meaty, meatball.
Oh my god. Everyone not watching the video of this is going to be like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, they have to watch the video.
If you're not watching the video, our cat Meatball is being tossed around by Paige.
Yeah, I'm throwing our cat around as he's trying to get back up on the table where we're podcasting.
Anyways, after that happens to McKay, he basically turns around and rapes Cassie or does something very borderline. questionable.
Yeah, he
she's
doesn't-
clearly not enjoying.
I mean, he doesn't rape her. The scene is rapey. Like, he's... No, rape is like, you're out of, like... She was like, okay, let's have sex. She gave consent. It is borderline. I'm not at all saying it wasn't rapey. It absolutely was. But yeah, I think we have to take his emotions into account. It's not excusable, but like, I don't think he was like, I'm gonna rape Cassie tonight. Like, it's, you know, he was... It's just all bad. I don't even like talking about it. It's so icky. It's just bad. But, you know, we're praying for Algie. We hope, like... Or no, not for Algie. We're praying for McKay. We hope he makes it through the rest of the season okay.
Yeah.
But,
so then back out of that flashback, now that we know what kind of trouble Cassie's having, we get some explanation for why she's getting real friendly with Daniel here.
Exactly. And it's totally justifiable.
Daniel,
in my opinion, it's okay.
Who appreciates her Halloween costume, makes sense. Good job, Daniel, appreciating the Halloween costume. None of us know he's about to be a fuck, but they go upstairs to, get it on.
But I also, I kind of want to know what our fans want to know, and I'll definitely, like, put this in our Insta story, but I feel like Cassie definitely gets a get-out-of-jail-free card on this. Like, and not only did McKay sort of rape her, but he also, like, has been a shit boyfriend. So, like, for her to be flirting with Daniel, I really don't think this is so, like...
It's not. And Daniel seems like a much better fit for her anyways at this point.
At the start. Yes.
Yes.
So I guess all I'm saying is I do not blame her for being flirtatious and, like, following up to the room and going that far. Yeah. It makes sense to me.
Yep, but then Daniel pulls the old, like, it's so painful.
I
like,
blue balls,
my
dick is hard, feel it. Also, it's so awkward, and he's like, feel it. And she's just like...
He gets all, like, pressury, and he's like,
do you remember that?
Yeah.
He's like, feel it, and she just goes... like, looks at him. Poor Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, like, I'm so sorry to do that if you had to. I hope that HBO, like, sex therapist was right there when they were doing all this.
Yeah, the intimacy consultant.
I would love to interview her. That must be such a fun job. Actually, I know I'm being really, like, inappropriate by saying that, but I think that'd be a fun job.
Yeah.
Think she's, like, cheering on the sidelines? No. She's like, oh, no, get the ticket.
Oh, my God. I don't think that's what that job entails, but... So that doesn't work out so well. Daniel flips. He's a real fucking asshole. He lives up to the Ted Bundy costume.
He does.
He's a piece of shit to Cassie. Everyone's such a piece of shit to Cassie. It's so sad.
It's really sad.
Much better than everybody.
Also, fuck him for calling her boring.
Cassie's not boring.
Not here for this. Cassie is not boring. I'm so tired of hearing guys call her that. She literally could not be the... We were both just saying, too, they like to paint her, the guys on the show like to paint her as, like, the dumb blonde. She's not dumb. She's never dumb.
No, I think it's almost less the guys. I feel like it's kind of weird from the writer's standpoint that she's treated by other characters as kind of, like...
kind of flippant and, like,
the dumb, idiotic. Like, dumb, and, like, just kind of, like, this, like, general hoe, which doesn't really ever seem to match how she is in the show. And obviously not everyone's image matches how they really are, but I don't really understand where that characterization of her came from. Other than
she doesn't play up her but she doesn't play up her sexuality. Like, even when they show her looking, like, really sexy, like, when they show that scene where she's walking past Daniel and she's got the real, like, revealing shirt, and she's walking and, like... I'm just saying she looks like, really, like, hot, and, like, it's this whole thing, and you're supposed to think, like, oh, she's just this dumb, slut. But it's like, she doesn't, like, use that to her advantage, if that makes sense. Like, she's very oblivious to how, like, hot she is, I feel like.
I don't know about that. I just don't think she's ever, like, really being dumb or, like...
I just think it's natural, though. I'm saying I don't think she, like, wears that stuff to be like, look at me and my tits. Like, I think it's just, like, how she dresses.
I don't know. I think she probably likes to appear a certain way.
Overcompensate maybe a bit?
No, I think she likes to, like, look like the hot girlfriend. Like, she's dating McKay, and I think she likes to look like the hot girl for McKay. Like,
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying they're painting her as, like, a dumb idiot, though, that only, like, cares about how they look.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't make sense. But I'm not talking about that. I'm saying I think she probably is conscious of, like, what McKay's, like, likes are, and she's kind of trying to be, like, the ideal girlfriend for McKay.
Yeah.
That's why she keeps doing all this shit, like changing out of her Halloween costume. She should have told him to fuck off, and instead she's like, fine, I'll put on the football jersey. She clearly hates putting on the football jersey, but she still does it.
Yeah. And she loves him because she stops the thing with Daniel a little, Good for her. I thought that was good for her. I'm glad she stopped. She's like, fuck you, bye.
Turns out to be a good move for her because Daniel's a real fuck.
It also turns out really well for her because she gets a whole bottle of wine to herself on the toilet.
She does get to drink a bottle of wine to herself on the toilet while realizing she's probably pregnant. What a great moment.
Well, that part's bad, but yeah, staring at those tampons, I've had that moment, let me tell you. It is not a good one. I wasn't drinking a bottle of wine. I wish I was.
So what else is going on? We got Kat being mean to Ethan again.
Yeah, they're in the
Kat
bathroom.
and Ethan are talking.
This scene's funny.
Kat's like, holy shit, you're a virgin? Like, I don't fuck virgins. It's like, Kat, you were a virgin 2 weeks ago until fucking McLovin with his shirt off dared you to, like, blow him or whatever. Like,
yeah, she's really harsh in this.
What?
Why do you think she's acting this harsh? Like, I get that her confidence is kind of cracking right now, but, like, sorry, I hit the mic, but, like, why is she, like, I don't know, I feel like she's really losing it.
She's just a bees. She's kind of a beezy. She's being a real jerk to Ethan.
I like Kat, though, so it makes me sad that she's such a bitch in this one.
She's very, very mean to Ethan.
Yeah, she is.
And he does not deserve it.
No, Ethan's so sweet. But they have this really funny moment where Ethan's like, he's like, honestly, props to Ethan for being so bold. He's like, I can do that. He's very like...
He does a good job handling it. He hits her
goes
with the, like, make out. He gets her, like, going down on her. But then, oh, my dude Ethan, he blows it.
He literally
blows
it. He jizzes all over his pants.
Yeah, as the intro to this episode states, he jizzed himself.
Is this common? Do you know many guys that you're friends with that are like, oh man, this sucks? Like, did you ever hear about that in high school?
I have not heard from any friend of this
happened to me.
To them, and it has not happened to me. Not to like brag, it just happened.
No, I know.
Like, but
I will not name names because that would be so rude on this YouTube. But I definitely, when I was like 14, I gave a guy a blowjob, and he just within like, I kid you not, under like 3 seconds, just everywhere. And
I mean, at least
I wasn't really good at that age. I was not good at that age, so I just let it go and it went all over the windshield.
Oh my lord. At least he made it to the blowjob though. That one,
I know.
Like, barely counts as premature because he got to the blowjob.
But also,
Ethan
like,
doesn't
who cares?
even get to the beat.
I feel bad that he runs off and is all embarrassed. Like, I guess Kat probably intimidated him though because she's so rude. But I feel like I wouldn't really care. Would you?
He just says he's going to the bathroom and he's going to take care of it. But then Kat bails on him and goes to fuck Daniel. And at this point, honestly, her and Daniel deserve each other because she's been a real dick and Daniel's been a real dick.
They're being really rude tonight.
Yeah.
So that happens. Whatever. You know, moving on. I'm so over Kat right now. Like, Ethan, love you. Like, so sorry you jizzed your pants. That's really sad. Mm-hmm. I hope you figured it out the rest of the night.
Yep.
What's next? I mean, God, that's a lot. That's so much happens at this party.
Rue goes to head out from the party, and then they realize, Rue and Lexi, and then they realize Jules is so fucked up. They can't really leave her.
Yeah. She's real fucked. She has a great one-liner in this when she's like, Lexi goes, you're all like soaking wet. And she goes, yeah, and you're dry and dressed like Bob Ross to Lexi.
That's a good Jules line.
It is. So even though she's drunk, she's still Jules.
Yeah, that's a good Jules line.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lexi's great in this episode because she has everybody's back. She's got Cassie's back when Cassie's hooking up with Daniel, and she deflects McKay.
Yep.
And then she's got Ruth back here when Jules is being a real bitch to her. And she kind of steps up to defend her.
She's got Gia's back.
She does have Gia's back. She's there helping to intimidate Roy.
She's like, Roy.
So yeah, Lexi.
She's like, and Weebe.
Good on her all around.
Oh, not only like
Great
good
job,
on her,
Lexi.
but also good on McKay in this scene. Because he not only recognizes Lexi's stupid costume, but he's like, Bob Ross, I like it. And I love that for you, McKay. Like, that is the only redeeming quality he has in that episode because it's
true.
Well, it's just cute. It's nice because it's like her sister, but it's also like, that's cool that he was like, like, he definitely got a kick out of it. He was into it.
That was nice of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like that because a lot of guys, don't understand when girls dress ugly like me, and maybe I'm just getting really defensive because I always dress like a fugly bitch at every Halloween party. But, like, I hate when guys stare at you as a girl when you're dressed really fucking ugly, and they give you the look like, oh, God, like, they're embarrassed for you, and it's like, I chose to wear this, bitch, and I feel confident.
Yeah. Fuck you. You wish you could see me.
Do you know what I'm
out
saying?
of
No,
this
maybe
shit.
you don't, but, like, I've walked into parties looking at that, and the guys definitely will at first look at you and be like, ooh, like, they almost feel, like, uncomfortable for you, and it's because they would never do it. That's what it always is. And then the minute you show your confidence, they're into it. They're like, that's fucking funny.
I walked into parties looking fucking ludicrous many times.
Yeah, but you're a dude.
So.
It's not the same. Girls are expected
You still
to
get
look
the looks.
slutty.
I will say, it's not the same, but you do get the looks if you walk into like a bro-y, like fratty type party and you're dressed real weird, or if it's like Halloween.
Totally.
And you're dressed like something and no one has any idea what you are. Everyone's like, you're
that's
so
the
weird
worst.
or something. It's
But
like,
also, then you flip it because you're like, you're weird. Because when you're something you know is great, it's so annoying when people are like, I don't know what that is. You're like,
plus, when you dress like that, you instantly attract the people that are cool. Because they're like, oh, I get it. And you're like,
yeah, like, I'm with you. Exactly. But anyways, I was just like thinking of Lexi in that moment because I am the Bob Ross at every Halloween party, and it's the worst when no one thinks it's funny, and you're like, "This is fucking funny." So McKay is redeemed because he says it's funny, and I love that about him.
Yeah.
What else do we have in my
That
notes?
pretty much concludes like the Halloween party.
It does.
And then the episode ends with the consummation of Nate's blackmail plans. He's blackmailed Jules. He's blackmailed Tyler. He's got Maddie on the take.
Yeah.
So he has this whole plan where everybody's going to go to the cops and fix this, so he gets off the hook. And I have to say, Tyler is so stupid.
Like, get a lawyer.
Tyler, did you not buy a gun or lock your doors or learn to run
I know,
from this
Nate's
guy
in the same chair.
or something? Like, Tyler's stupid.
It's crazy. He's in a neck brace. It's like, yo, dude, you should probably have a gun by now.
I know. I'm sorry to say this, but Jules is also stupid in this episode because by now, they're all stupid. Tyler or Jules, by now, it's crazy that neither of them have bothered to look up the law online. All you have to do is just some cursory Google searching
Will I be convicted of child pornography for sending a crude text through an app? It
doesn't take that much to realize that Nate is full of shit and his blackmail plan falls apart. Or to contact a lawyer, or to go to the police. All of these options exist.
Well, we also were saying,
no one's taking them, so they're all kind of fucking stupid for letting him just blackmail them without getting away with it.
Absolutely, but we also were saying, like, season 2, this really brings a lot of thoughts, and I just feel like, what are we going to see in season 2? Like, someone has to go to jail.
Honestly, Jules and Maddie and Nate should
technically all go to jail.
Because they've essentially committed like conspiracy, amongst other things, but they've all conspired to put Tyler in jail for Nate's crime, to cover up crimes, to obstruct justice. They've committed false reports.
So I feel like I won't really like season 2 if they don't. Someone needs to go. I really don't want Jules in jail. I feel like she wouldn't thrive there because she couldn't do her makeup, and seeing her without makeup would just really trouble me. Not like because she's ugly or anything, nothing like that. She's beautiful, but like I need to see like the good makeup. So that would be really problematic. Same with Maddie. Like, we saw how beat she looked in the last episode. I don't need to see that again. Nate, like, he belongs in prison. And you know what?
Season 2 should be Tyler's redemption story where he sends all of them to prison and laughs while they're all in prison.
And you know what, Nate? They don't serve broccoli and garlic, but they might serve mac and mash at the jail. So get ready. Season 2.
But
it opens with him in jail with a tray and they're like mac and mash.
Oh my god. That would be good. I like that.
I mean, a good season 2 intro.
Probably the most interesting thing about this scene, though, is that we learn a lot about Jules and Maddie. And what we learn is not good, because we find out that both of them...
I'm such a stan for Jules.
I love Jules, but it gets real hard to love her from this episode until the end, because we find out in this episode that both Jules and Maddie are willing to send an innocent person to prison instead of facing their own consequences.
Well, not only consequences, or doing research.
Not a lot. That says everything about your character as a person.
It does.
That you are going to say, I'm not going to go to deal with the fallout of my own actions. I'm going to let this innocent man go to prison for assaulting and raping a woman. But also, Jules has her dad.
Jules has her dad. Her dad has her back. Like, go to your dad and be like, Dad, this is really fucking embarrassing, but I sent a nude. I know, awkward, but like, you know I do this shit. I'm in high school, and this guy's threatening me. You know, her dad wouldn't even be like, for a second, he wouldn't be like, a nude. He would literally be like, wait, what? A guy threatened you?
He would obviously help out with it, but like...
So would Maddie's mom. Maddie's mom already pressed her. I mean, what if she was like, he choked me?
There's no excuse for either of them. It says a lot about their characters, and it's sad that we have to find this out about them.
It is.
But like, if Tyler gets convicted of assaulting and raping Maddie, he's looking at like 25 years in prison. This isn't just like, he's going to prison for a year. Like, he's going to prison for like... his life.
Cassie spilled the beans. Sydney Sweeney spilled the beans on the live, and the only thing she said about Euphoria season 2 is that it's dark. It gets really dark. So maybe he goes to prison.
Fuck them for what they do to Tyler.
So that's bad. No, but then we get the great end scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to also bring up, it's so sad when Rue is crying. I know this is like kind of backtracking, but I had to bring it up because I took a little note. I thought it was so sad when she's like crying and is like, I'm a burden. That's like the saddest thing ever. And Lexi hugs her. She's a bae, but like,
very sad.
I don't know. That really got to me because it's like you could kind of see Rue kind of. This is really where she's really starting to fall apart.
Yeah, poor Rue.
Poor Rue. And she's such a gem. The whole episode, she was such a good friend. She stays there with Jules. Yeah, I just felt so bad for her. And then we have the end scene. It's very Halloween-y. We've got like trap music. We've got the organ playing real loud. Nate walks in and he's already dressed for prison. So you know what? That's perfect. He won't have to change.
A little bit of foreshadowing, hopefully.
He can just pull that out of his closet and bring it with him when he goes to jail.
Maddie is dressed as Iris, the 12-year-old prostitute
from Taxi
played by
Driver,
Jodie Foster from Taxi Driver.
She also looks great, by the way. Maddie's costume's phenomenal. Her makeup's really good.
Which is fitting when you think about the character, which is a girl, like, engaging in sex at a very young age, and either, like, looking
Interesting, they're both wearing what they, like, are right now.
to be, like, saved, or this man that has this weird complex about saving her, which is Robert De Niro's character in Taxi Driver, who's obsessed with, like, saving Jodie Foster from this, like, street life.
I'm glad you said that, because it's very foreshadowing.
Maddie, it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's a lot.
But I love it. He, like, plops it. I actually do really like this scene. As much as I hate them, I really love the end scene. He, like, puts her on the counter. They're, like, making out. Everyone's like, ding, 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 ding. And it's, like, slow-mo. Wow. And then they zoom in on Jules, and she gives a face like, oh my god, she looks like a fucking mess. And then Rue has a little exchange. She looks at Nate and then looks at Jules' reaction, and she's like, you know, immediately she connects the dots. She knows why Jules is fucked up. She knows who Shy Guy is.
You think?
Absolutely, yes.
We'll see next week.
I think
Tune in to find out.
I think she knows something is up. I don't think she knows specifically, but she can tell that Jules is super upset by this.
Yeah.
But a great scene. It's a good Halloween-y scene. It ends with them, like, cheering on Nate, and you're like, he's the evil bastard.
Everyone kind of gets what they deserve in this episode. Kat's been a real bitch, and she ends up with Daniel, who's real
Cassie doesn't. Cassie's really sad.
Cassie never gets redemption.
No, she never gets redemption.
But Maddie's been a real bitch, despite being choked, and she ends up with Nate.
Lexi gets complimented by McKay. Well-deserved. She's absolute bae in this episode.
Yep.
They all, you're right. They all do. Rue doesn't, though. Rue does not.
My final note on this episode is that this episode's a great example of what I like most about Euphoria, or a lot about Euphoria, which is that it has a very, like, deep cultural reference book. It brings a lot of cultural references in from TV, from film, from music, and it doesn't just bring them in, like, meaninglessly most of the time. It brings them in a way that, like, enhances the story or tells you something about the characters.
Yes.
So you
don't look up something and you're like, oh, that was really
like in this episode, everyone's costumes were chosen for a very particular reason.
Yes. It's very storytelling. It's intentional.
The characters and the story, and they go deep. It's not just like these base, like, level cultural references. They're pulling out all kinds of weird stuff from here and from there. And I try to bring as much of that to this podcast as I can. I try to find the weird references. There's probably plenty I've missed. But I think they do a great job of going real deep on the show. And I try to, like, find
Well, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking maybe, too, once we get through most of these episodes, we could have, like, an Alex, like, nerdy-ass hour where you do your own episode where you just kind of deep dive into that kind of shit. Because I feel like we do leave a lot out. Just, down the road. Yeah, it's just like a lot of people like that stuff. I kind of like get into a snooze, like, alert when that stuff happens. But, like, no, I like it. I do. But I just think that stuff's really interesting, and we have to leave a lot of it out because of the timing.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Euphoria is so intentional, and I think that's why you knew I was so enraged when they didn't get any Emmys, because I feel like this show is so much more than a TV show. It really is, like, a lot. Like, it's so detailed, from the makeup to the costume to the writing to the music. It's like everything is, there's not really, like, they don't miss a beat. They're not missing anything. You don't go, it's so good, but this is rough. So, Euphoria. Sam Levinson.
Yeah, to wrap it up, the credits in this episode. Didn't do the credits for the last few episodes because there wasn't anything interesting enough.
Yes.
In this one, though, we get the credits for
the end credits, the scrolling end credits for those of you.
I like to pull out the weird extras in the credits. In this episode,
they're not extras.
According to, if you've been following the news, Kerry Washington recently had a psycho freak out on Ellen about how they're not called extras. They're called like additional background actors.
Yeah, it was like additional featured actors.
Psycho.
Ugh, so
They're
crazy.
extras. The extras in this episode that were noteworthy were the 4 pay pigs, which they're called pay pigs in the credits.
That's so funny.
And
Can you imagine being like, that's me, I'm the pay pig number 1?
That'd be very funny. Also, since I didn't look into the credits, I only started looking at the credits for episode 3, so I went back and looked at episode 1 and 2, and the only noteworthy thing was that in episode 2, all of Cal's motel hookups, when they're doing the sequence of, like, the videos,
Okay.
there's 4 of them, and they are all real-life trans porn stars.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
Leanna Lawson, Cora Del Rio, Kaylee Cox, and Natalie Mars.
Shout out.
Shout
Ladies. Out. Ladies?
Yeah.
Everybody? Them?
Ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
I love that. I feel like it's time for superlatives.
Superlatives.
Wait, no, wait.
We did a little, in honor of Halloween, the superlatives this week are...
Did you have a little
that was fantastic. That was nice.
So we changed the titles a bit for Halloween.
Yes. So this week we have Best Costume, Worst Costume, The High Priestess, a.k.a. the Bae, The Spawn of Satan, a.k.a. the Big Purple Dirty Rat Bastard, Pennywise instead of the Class Clown,
of course,
and
naturally.
then the Devilish Duo instead of the Best Costume.
Devilish Duo.
So why don't you kick us off with Best Costume?
Best Costume, Cassie, hands down. She looked hot. I mean, there were so many, and to be fair, there were so many good outfits. It was very hard to choose, but Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie, and then I said, like, secretly, Lexi, because she was Bob Ross, and she doesn't give a single fuck. She wasn't trying to be a hoe on Halloween.
I said Cassie just because of the reference.
I said Cassie too.
I love that movie. It's a great
I said Cassie
reference.
too,
And I love
whispered
Patricia
Lexi.
Arquette too. She's a great actress, and she's really good in that role. So
I said Cassie too. I just did a little, like,
worst costume.
I already forgot.
My worst costume is Ethan.
I'm like, who was the worst?
I love Ethan so much, but his
Too much
costume
vodka.
is the epitome of lazy. He just put a little blood dribble right here.
Oh!
I'm doing a podcast, not going to a Halloween party, and I am
I was
dressed
gonna say, touche.
better than Ethan. I
You're
did
not just better.
I went more all out. He's just wearing his regular clothes with one blood dribble. I am just doing a podcast,
You
and I
tried.
have more
He was
going
nervous,
on.
okay? I picked Daniel, because he's a fuck you, Daniel, and honestly, like, he could have bought that jumper at Goodwill. It was really easy. Like, it
I
was
said
just an orange
credit.
jumper.
I give Daniel a little bit of credit because he drew
What, for being
on,
Ted Bundy?
because he drew on the unibrow, which makes him not just a guy in an orange jumpsuit. It makes him Ted Bundy.
Oh, whatever.
A little bit of credit.
Fuck
All
you,
right.
Daniel.
What about your High Priestess of the episode?
High Priestess, Lexi, hands down.
Same. Great
Lexi.
friend. Has
We already said
everybody's
why.
back.
She owns
Bob
this
Ross.
episode.
Yep. How about Spawn of Satan?
That's what I'm saying, Nate.
Nate.
Nate's always the dick of the episode. Or
Yeah.
whatever, the big, dirty, purple, red.
Big dirty purple rat bastard.
Oh my
The old
god. You guys, the
BPDRB.
vodka is hitting.
Alright, how about your Pennywise of the episode?
Pennywise. Ooh, Class Clown? Oh, Pennywise. Who's the Pennywise? Who'd you say?
I went with Cal for his
His mac and mash?
dinner scene where he's mac and mash, mac and mash. Oh, broccoli?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good dish.
I'm gonna have to
what a
second
clown.
that.
He's a total clown.
I'm gonna second that.
Cool. How about your devilish duo?
Ooh, this one's hard because, like, all the couples are really struggling in this episode. But if I were to pick outside of romance, I would say Lexi and Rue.
My devilish duo of the episode is mac and mash.
That is so stupid.
Sorry about it. Sorry, sorry.
Mine is Lexi and Rue because they're badasses. They, like, question Roy and Troy. Or maybe Roy and Troy. They're funny.
Only one of them's in the episode, though.
You're right, it's just Roy.
Only Roy is shown.
Damn, Gian and Roy. Do you think in season 2 Gian and Roy will, like...
I hope not. Roy's a real piece of shit.
I know. Sometimes he's funny.
He is funny.
They're, like, likable, though,
He's
you
funny,
know?
but he's a real ass.
They are real assholes.
Also,
but
it's
they're
still
kinda
so weird
likable.
that they're McKay's brother. They never show them together.
No. Like, McKay doesn't even say
McKay's at
hi
the
to the party.
No interaction.
I would love to talk to Algie if
weird.
what he thinks about Roy and Troy being his
It's
brothers.
weird.
His on-set brothers.
They don't show them in McKay's backstory. They don't show them.
No. Do you think Algie and Roy and Troy, like, hang out? Tristan and Tyler is their real names?
Oh.
I feel like they must hang out. I don't know. I would love that for them.
So
Anyways.
last is Song of the Week, and this week
So many.
there were so many good songs. So we're just gonna talk about all the songs we really love this week.
I mean, let's just list them out. We've got I Like Hot by Dodger. That's in the end
Last
credits.
Artful Dodger
Yeah. I love
from
that. Wait, what?
Hailing from
What?
Portland, Oregon.
What are you even talking
The last
about?
Artful
Dodgers
Dodger is from Portland, Oregon.
How the fuck would I
She's
know
like
that?
the only rapper to ever come out of Portland,
She's
Oregon.
not a she. I'm talking about the end credits. His
Yeah.
name's Dodger.
That's the last Artful Dodger, who is a female rapper from Portland, Oregon.
Well, fuck if I know that. Why would you throw that at me?
Because we're from
We're
Portland.
recording. Don't
We're
put
from
it on
Portland.
us.
We have to rep Portland rap.
I mean, I
There's
guess.
nothing. There is no Portland
I
rap.
know, but I still don't understand what you're saying. So let's continue. What's the next one? What's the
Uh,
next song?
Well, we already mentioned Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos.
Run away,
But after that-
run away.
What's that one?
It's the one with the sample that you thought was like, but it was really an old song.
Okay, so there is a
What, you
really...
couldn't tell by my singing voice?
I could not tell what you were singing. There's a really great song when they're at the Halloween party. It's got like this great synthy beat.
Yeah, it's good.
And I recognized the beat from a song by the artist Home, who's kind of like vaporwavy, synthwavy. And I thought this was a new artist sampling Home. So I looked into it, and this is an 80s song, 1984.
It sounds like an 80s
From Bronski Beat, who are a gay group from England. All the members were gay, and lots of their songs were about like gay rights issues. The song is called Small Town Boy, and this is a sick song.
It's
the
so
beat
good.
is so good.
It's
And
also
this-
a really long song. I don't know if you've ever listened to it like in its entirety, but
I
it's like
have.
a 7-minute song. It's great to run to.
Yeah. So
I've done it.
it's that kind of plays in as well to like everything going on deep on Euphoria.
Yes.
Like the poet that McKay is like running to is like this like
Yeah.
important gay figure. Like
Mhm.
this song is by like an important like gay band from England.
That's really
Like,
cool.
This type of stuff is like what I mean when it's like
Super
they're very
detailed.
particular about their choices,
Yeah.
and it plays in
The party
plays
music's
well.
great too. Everything they listen to at the
Great
Halloween party is so good. And we'll plug all of these in our normal superlative post because the music,
Yes.
we couldn't even pick one. There were like 10 songs
Yeah.
we like loved.
Another great one is when Cassie and Daniel are dancing in slow motion. There's a song playing called Just Me and You by the Dreamliners, who were like a short-lived like girl group from the 60s.
Cool.
Great song. Never
So
heard
good.
that before.
It's very like
Loved it.
dreamy. It's very 50s sounding. I love
It's
it.
great.
It's really good.
What else you got?
I mean, I'm just gonna plug the rest because I don't know the titles of the ones I love, but I love the party scene songs. They're all so great. A lot of them are like more modern because
Yeah,
it's
there's
more
some
like
good ones,
hype
yeah.
hip hop. But like,
Mhm.
I'll post them all. It was honestly like I've drank way too much vodka, so I can't tell you like who's saying
Yeah.
what.
I think the only other one that I thought was noteworthy was I really liked them using Inside Looking Out by the Animals when Cassie and Daniel are going upstairs to get it on.
Ah. Sorry, I
Great
wasn't
song.
paying attention because Daniel
Love
was such
the-
a fucking asshole that I didn't really hear
Yeah.
the song.
It's a great song. I love the Animals. It's very...
I love the animals. That makes it sound like you're like I love animals.
You would never... That song would never be playing at this party, but it's great that it is. It's
Yeah.
like chaotic 60s.
But Euphoria does a
like,
good job at
organ rock.
mixing. They mix like the modern, like,
Mhm.
and not even shitty, like the modern good stuff that you want to hear in your partying, but also like,
True.
yeah, they mix and match. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Those are the highlights for me. Lots of good music in this episode, but those are my faves.
Can we also recognize that Meatball stayed asleep this entire time and was such a good boy? Oh, he's dreaming right now. Well, anyways, I can't believe we recorded our first episode on my shitty Mac. Not even on a good camera, but like, who cares? The sound quality of this podcast is probably god awful, but like, you should probably just watch it on YouTube. Obviously,
Just
still listen.
excuse the audio quality. in the
Yeah,
song.
just excuse it. My jacket's annoying as shit, and like I was moving around a lot, and like I hit the mic a couple times. Meatball got up. Like it happens. This is what happens when you are a podcaster and you push through. But anyways, this was so fun.
It was great.
We are definitely going to do this
Love
again.
it.
We are just so excited. We love the feedback we're getting. Please keep listening. We will link everything below in our YouTube. Just follow, subscribe, like, comment, DM us. Tell us your feelings, your thoughts. Vent to us. Tell us about how much you hate meat. Tell us if you've ever eaten mac and mash. Like I want to know everything.
Is the broccoli a great dish?
Is the garlic broccoli a great dish at the Cheesecake Factory? I don't know. Let us know. Do you have anything else? Like I'm just like so excited.
No. Stay spooky, you know?
Yeah, stay spooky, stay euphoric, and you know what? Let's have our last sip. I'm actually on empty, so I'm gonna pretend to take a sip because it's bad luck to not.
We have one left.
Oh my god, you're so lucky. You're blessed. Cheers. That's so euphoric.
So
Thanks for
euphoric.
tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Well, we won't see you, but you'll hear us. Maybe you'll see us. Who knows? We love you.